I meant, I suppose, that the world is going through a revolution at the moment. It's the revolution of globalization. It's a truism to talk about it, but it is a revolution because we have suddenly introduced into the broadly defined market economy system about 3.5 billion people out of a total world population of 5.5 billion. This means that whole swathes of the world's economy have to integrate areas such as, obviously, the former communist bloc countries, but also countries which in the past had import-substitute type economies, and there were some of those in Latin America, India to a significant measure, and other countries, who have adopted and are applying market economic systems and therefore introducing new forms of competition, new forms of economic activity, at a time when technology is moving forward dramatically, when free movement of people, communications and so on is transforming the world in which we live. So there's going to be constant pressure on the market system from those who would wish to defend positions, essentially the protectionist case. And I think that that's more likely to be in evidence in the developed economies than in the developing economies. We've seen a little bit of it in the US presidential debate in recent times with the position that Mr. Buchanan has taken.
Does that worry you?
It worries me a great deal because apart from the fact that I believe that it is morally, it may be an unfashionable word to use in the context of economics, but I believe it is morally important that people be given the opportunity to participate in growth worldwide. But I actually also believe that it's a win-win situation, that the opening up of economic activity and trade, through trade between the developing countries and developed economies and so on, is desirable for everybody and is beneficial for everybody. Obviously, some industries are going to feel the heat in both areas of the world.
How would you like to explain to people who are losing their jobs that they're taking part in a vital economic process?
It's never going to be easy to explain to people that competition can bring about changes which are painful to them. But what one has to say, and one has to explain, and in particular where leaders have to explain, is that the overall advantages to society, including their societies, is a great increment in jobs. The only way that we can address the problem of unemployment, which is a serious problem in Europe, is by opening up opportunities, not by trying to defend the indefensible.
Could you see a European Union without a common European currency?
Of course, if the endeavour seeking a common currency were to fail, I am not saying that it would be an inevitable result that we would have a collapse of the common market. What I would say, however, is that it has always been, and this is not a new thing, it has always been, and certainly since before the United Kingdom and Ireland and Denmark joined in 1973, it has been part of the design of the architects of integration to complete a task by having a single currency. I think it would positively supplement and help the internal market to have a single currency. I think it's obvious that if you don't have transaction costs and you have transparency and so on, that it's positive and desirable. I'm personally, therefore, somebody who's in favour of a single currency.
Even though Britain's experience of being in a fixed exchange rate mechanism was disastrous, and indeed most of the economies in Europe are at different stages of development or indeed decline.
First of all, Britain joined the monetary system on the basis of a certain exchange rate. Whether that was the right one or the wrong one at the time is an important element in whether and what happened subsequently. Secondly, I do not believe that having a strong currency is a disadvantage to employment or to economic growth. I think it's a positive. I think that the development of a single currency has been effectively achieved in a core group of countries over a number of years. I mean, the reality is that over a number of years now, the basic parities, the basic exchange rates between the core group have remained more or less static. And I believe that that can be sustained.